Hey everyone, it's Rihanna and welcome back to another video. Today I have more movie reviews number 12 for you guys. I have a mixture between a new release, a more recent release, and two films that have come off of the recommended list of films to review for more movie reviews. So let's get on with the first film. So the first film I'm going to review for you guys today is Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, which is a film directed by Stanley Kubrick that came out in 1964. Dr. Strangelove follows an insane army general that triggers off a path to nuclear holocaust, and in a war room a bunch of politicians and generals frantically try to stop it. Admittedly, it did take me a while to get into Dr. Strangelove, but once I understood the humour and the tone that this film was going for, I absolutely loved this film. The performance by Peter Sellers that plays numerous characters, but most notably that of Dr. Strangelove, is amazing. This incredibly sane scientist, I loved his performance as that character, and even though I don't think he is quite a main part in this film, he only shows up towards the end and in certain scenes, I do think he's probably one of my favourite characters in this film. Of everyone, he stands out to me the most because there are a ton of characters going on in this film, and for me it was quite hard to follow. I'm quite a big fan of long-running dialogue scenes, and Dr. Strangelove is not short of them. I thought the dialogue scenes were great, I thought the dialogue was great, I love the satirical humour, especially the "you can't find here, this is a war room" line. That was the moment in the film where I completely got where this film was coming from and where it was going. For its time of 1964, I can see why Dr. Strangelove is known as a classic and why it is so worshipped in cinema, for its really long dialogue and for its concept, but I think watching it in 2016 it kind of takes the effect of that away a little bit. Because the film does jump from the war room to the plane that is going to start this nuclear holocaust, back to one of the bases where they're trying to stop it, the film does get quite repetitive at times, I feel, because it is going from one scene to the other. You kind of have to keep track of what's going on in each scene, and that is why this film needs your full attention. And out of all of the Kubrick films I've seen, I don't think Dr. Strangelove is the strongest direction-wise. I really feel that the dialogue and screenwriting is a lot stronger than the direction in this film, because although this film is really well directed, I feel like in other films Stanley Kubrick had more to do with the direction. With all that being said, obviously Dr. Strangelove is a fantastically made film. I love the dialogue, I love the humour, I love the performances, and I'm going to be giving Dr. Strangelove a 4 out of 5 stars. The next film I want to talk about is a recent release which came out this year, which is Tale of Tales, which is the new fantasy fairy tale film by Matteo Garonne. Now, I was really excited for Tale of Tales. I am a sucker for fairy tales, especially dark twisted ones, and this was right up my street. Tale of Tales follows 3 stories, one of a queen who is unable to have a child, so her king sacrifices himself to a sea monster so she can have a child, and then we see the story of her and her son and the twin that came along with him, and we see what happens with them. The second story is of a king who lusts after a woman he has never seen, has only heard, and what goes on with that king and that woman. And then the third tale is of Toby Jones's character, who is a king of land who finds a flea, goes a bit mad, growing this flea as its own and rejecting his own daughter, but eventually he tells his daughter that whoever can identify the fleece of this flea that he's been raising can marry his daughter, and that doesn't exactly go to plan either. Tale of Tales has quite a few notable names in it. It has John C. Reilly as the king that sacrifices himself to the sea monster, it has Selma Hayek as the queen, it has Vincent Cassel as a king, and Toby Jones as another king in this film. I love the world building of this film. I just think everything looks gorgeous. I love the different kingdoms, how they're all kind of intertwined with each other. It could have used a lot better story structure, I feel, because there are 3 different stories to be told. Going from one to the other, you have to remember what storyline's going on, where, who's doing what, and just all of that. It feels like a Game of Thrones episode in one film. And although each individual story is really intriguing and does have really great elements of fairy tales and fantasy and dark fantasy in that, I would definitely have to say the story of Selma Hayek's queen and her sons was probably the most interesting to me, just because I felt it was really dark and really individual and had a lot of lore behind it. In all aspects, this film looks gorgeous, from the production design to the cinematography to the costumes to the cast to the locations. All looks gorgeous for a dark fantasy film. I just think other elements of the film kind of let it down for me. As I said, I think the story structure could have been better, and there were some parts of the dialogue that I didn't feel fit with the time period and with the kind of medieval setting they were going for in this film. I felt like some of the dialogue felt like it could be said in modern day, and it didn't really fit well in with me. I like that each individual story in this film has its own moral and own lesson, and I love the twisted side of this film. I love twisted fairy tales. it's a weakness of mine. I'm going to be giving Tale of Tales a 3.5 out of 5 stars. The next one I want to talk about came out in 2013 and is directed by Richard Ayoade, which is The Double, starring Jesse Eisenberg and Mia Wasikowska. It follows this character called Simon James who works for this company, and he makes a shocking revelation one night when he is looking out his window at his neighbour Hannah, who is played by Mia Wasikowska. The Double to me is so intriguing. There are definitely films like The Double, I would say, like Predestination, kind of Enemy. It's kind of a mixture between those two films, but it's so intriguing. I love Jesse Eisenberg's performance in the film. He doesn't just play Jesse Eisenberg in this film. Well, he does, but he also doesn't at the same time. I really enjoyed his performance. He was a fullable, that's not even a word. He was a likeable character, and I really like Mia Wasikowska's performance as well. I think their characters were really individualized and just really intriguing to watch on screen. The whole concept of The Double is kind of obvious when you first get into the film and what you know the reveal of the film is, but how they handle it and how they kind of interpret The Double is really interesting. It doesn't go in a way that you'd expect it to go, and I like the ambiguity in this film. There is an ambiguous time setting, there's an ambiguous location, and I really like that about this film because you don't know whether this is just some strange London past or whether it's a dystopian future. And with the looks of this film, with the production design and the whole feel of it, there's kind of a retro feel to it, but it does seem very kind of futuristic, underground, gritty, and I really like how ambiguous and how unexplained the whole design of this film was. The music in this film is great, the cinematography in this film looks beautiful, the direction by Richard Ayoade is done really well. It kind of had my skin crawling and I felt really uncomfortable watching it at times and really kind of self-conscious watching Jesse Eisenberg's character on screen. And I love the way that Richard Ayoade tackles that. I really loved feeling that way during this film. I love films with intriguing dialogue and mind-blowing plots, so I'm going to be giving The Double a 4 out of 5 stars. And my last film to review is 12 Angry Men, which came out in 1957. We are going a while back. This film was directed by Sidney Lambert and tells the story of 12 jurors who are looking into the case of a young boy who has been found to have murdered his father. 12 Angry Men is all about the dialogue and the direction in this film. It is all based in real time, mostly based in one location. It feels claustrophobic, it feels intense, and this film has you guessing and questioning your morals as you're going along with these characters. We start off this film with 12 jurors, 11 of them thinking that the boy is guilty and one of them wanting to delve a little bit deeper into the case. And I'm so glad they do. It would be a really short film if everyone just found this kid guilty. But the way they tackle this is so well done, because you are looking at things you wouldn't think to look at in a court case. These jurors are just normal people, they have normal jobs, they talk about it and stuff, they kind of have bonds with each other in this kind of room where it's the hottest day of the year, tensions are high, and every little detail in the case of this boy counts. I can definitely see why 12 Angry Men is a classic. Its dialogue is fantastic and I will be so sad that I will never write dialogue like it. It's intriguing, demands your attention, and I love films that can make you think. I'm going to be giving 12 Angry Men a 4 out of 5 stars. So those were my 4 films reviewed for More Movie Reviews number 12. Please leave suggestions for more films that you want to see me quickly review down below in the comments, and I will get on to the other requested ones that you've already given me as well. If you've seen any of the films I've mentioned, let me know down below in the comments what you thought of them, and if you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be doing lots more TV reviews and movie reviews for you guys very soon. All my social media links, including my Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and Letterboxd, will be down below in the description. Come follow me. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you very soon. Bye!